Well, joining me now to discuss this is Durwood Zaelke, who's a climate specialist. He's in Paris for us. Welcome to the programme. So obviously this is a new milestone in global temperature records, as the EU says. But how much will it actually impact those talks in the upcoming climate change conference, COP29 in Azerbaijan?
So the COP that starts this weekend in Baku is facing some pretty powerful headwinds from the Trump election, from other drifts to authoritarian governments that we see around the world. But the climate itself doesn't care about who's in office. The climate continues to warm. The climate impacts continue to hammer the world. And the demand for climate protection continues to build from citizens and often from businesses themselves as they see these impacts that are not stopping. And so we expect some progress in Baku at COP29. We see the recognition, the hottest year on record. Now, the question is that a temporary 1.5 degrees, or have we crashed through that survival barrier, and will we lock that in? Because if we do, then we are facing the first 5 tipping points of 16 that are lurking right beyond the 1.5 barrier. And these tipping points are irreversible, and they're going to be catastrophic. There are things to do. The most important one right now to slam on the brakes is to cut methane.
Okay. And that message of yours to cut methane, and as you said, the climate doesn't care about who's in office, are hugely important. But sometimes we see these meetings, COPs, just make enormous pledges and promises, and yet here we are. But what can possibly stop leaders at COP from actually making decisions that will, stop 2025 becoming the hottest year, for seeing this trend that we're seeing? Because it's on everyone's doorstep, is it not? It's all in America right now, New Jersey and California, each coast. Here in Europe, we've seen the tragedy of Spain.
Yes. So what will it take? I mean, you're correct. You point out that these COPs have produced pledges. Pledges aren't good enough. We need mandatory measures like we have with the Montreal Protocol. This is the treaty that has put the stratospheric ozone layer on the path to recovery by 2066. And at the same time is the mandatory treaty that has already avoided as much warming as carbon dioxide causes today. So we have an example of a treaty that is mandatory and successful. Now we need to do the same thing for methane.
Absolutely. That's the word, methane. Durwood Zaelke, thank you very much indeed. Sorry to cut you short.